Hey guys, Bix Weir, roadtoroota.com. Coming to you from the greenhouse on Thursday afternoon. I'm getting so many emails right now of people who have been waiting for the pullback of the cryptos, and they got their pullback. It's here. It has arrived. I thought they'd all freak out and say, oh no, it's going down. It was a bad idea. But no, they're not. They're saying, I want in, I want in, I want in big, and they can't get in. The websites, Coinbase, Kraken, they're all messed up. All the exchanges and online wallets have, not all of them, but most of them have shut their doors. I've talked about the exchanges for a long time and why you have to keep your cryptos on your own possession in a paper wallet or a electronic storage device like a Trezor. So important for things just like this. Those with coins in the exchanges or in the online wallets like Coinbase and Kraken and all of them almost people are getting freaked out because they can't get access to their coins. They can't buy anything more. They can't sell anything. It's, every site's like down for maintenance or, experiencing too much volume. This is what happens when the crocodile teeth kick in. If you bought Cliff's report, I begged you to buy Cliff's report. His latest report, halfpasthuman.com, crypto crocodiles. He said there's going to be exchange problems all summer, and you're going to see the price of Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies go like this, crocodile teeth, upward, but still you have your sharp drops and then moves up and blah, blah, blah. On these drops, you're going to have problems with the exchanges. You just are. Even at the tops, you're going to have problems with exchanges. The exchanges are new, and there's a lot of them. I think there's over 100 now, maybe even more than that. Around the world, this is everywhere. Who's the most trustworthy? None of them. All of them trade more coins than they actually possess, which is a problem if people start pulling their coins out, which is what happened, I believe, in the Mt. Gox debacle. Mt. Gox had about 650,000 Bitcoin, but we're trading millions a day. It was crazy. And same thing happens with our normal financial markets. Rehypothecation is the name of the game. So, yeah. I don't know what to say to you. The people are emailing me all upset that they can't buy right now. Now that the prices have pulled back, a lot of people are saying, oh my God, this is what I've been waiting for. I'm so brilliant. I timed this market perfectly. And they go into their Coinbase account and they can't get it. Isn't it just the way? I would say when you can get in, buy some, and dollar average. I think Coinbase has a function that they'll pull money out of your account every week. They probably don't do it in these times that. A lot of times they'll shut down just so they can get their book in order. Go out and buy some cheap cryptos before they reopen. Because they're always selling cryptos that they don't have, and that's a problem. If everybody, it's just like any other bank, it's a fractional reserve system. If everybody pulled their coins out at the same time, the exchanges wouldn't have not even close to the amount of coins. It's the early days in the crypto world, but this is true of every exchange. People who talk about gold and silver, and they're gonna all you got to do is take delivery and all that. Delivery doesn't even matter. You look at the volumes on the COMEX, there are over 100 billion ounces of silver traded every year. That's ridiculous. That's way ridiculous. That's just one exchange. The LBMA is like 130, I think, billion ounces transferred. Quote, the gross transfers, 130 billion ounces a year. There's a lot of fraud in the system. And people are talking about, and I got a Cliff High email about this, about backing cryptocurrencies with something, with real estate, with silver or gold or your firstborn. the crypto coin world is as large as your imagination. But no, I mean, you run into the gold-backed crypto. You still got a third party between you and your metal that will walk off the minute there's a hiccup in the banking system. So it doesn't matter. Then the crypto will be backed by nothing and go to zero. It'll just be more in your face. And the ones that are backed by gold, it's like the federal government now saying, oh, we're going to back our currency. Oh, okay, well, I'm going to go into a bank and exchange the $20 bill for $20 worth of gold. No. we don't do that kind of backing. We back it by telling you we have gold in the vault. And you're supposed to believe us after the system breaks down. People who talk about SDRs, changing to the SDRs, that's ridiculous. You know how much anger there will be towards bankers, towards the very people who control our system at this time, that they crashed it once again? No, they're not going to get to make the rules anymore. I'm sorry about that. The United States has long had a plan to return to a physical gold standard, physical coins, walking into a bank, exchanging coins for dollars. That's a true gold standard. If it's not backed, it's a redeemable. Paper money's fine, electronics money's fine, as long as you can redeem one for one at any time, at any moment. There's no fractional reserve in the system, which takes banks out of the equation, which is great. We don't need these criminals. I mean, there's plenty of other things for people to strive for in life. So get out there and do something different. Like get into cryptocurrencies. This cryptocurrency thing is not just a one-time passing phase. It is a change in the way we do business in the world. Much like when the World Wide Web came around. I keep talking about that. It was introduced in 1990. 1989, the guy who invented the World Wide Web, yes, it wasn't Al Gore, invented it and released a white paper on it in 1989, and it went live, I think, in 1990. And then for the next 10 years, it went crazy. I mean, the amount of deniers are pretty much the same as the deniers in the cryptocurrencies now, and then the amount of businesses that were born and thrived, and to this day, the biggest businesses in the world are related to the internet. The same thing's going on with the cryptocurrencies. I don't even like the name cryptocurrencies because a lot of these things aren't currencies. They're tokens, they're platforms, they're software to help you manage a business better without going through the central banking system. But the catchphrase is cryptocurrencies because they're bought and traded, and that's what people get excited about, not even thinking about what's the underlying business under the cryptocurrency. Bitcoin, the underlying business, is a replacement for our current monetary system. That's a tough one to be. But they had the first mover, and it would work if people get out of the way and they solve the scaling problems, which they will. At some point, it's clear in Cliff's data that Bitcoin goes out throughout this century. So, yeah, it's going to keep going and going and going, and it's these pullbacks that are exciting, and if you bought Cliff's report, you knew this was coming. You know there's another one coming between now and the soft fork, user-activated soft fork for Bitcoin, DIP 128 or 148 or whatever it's called, August 1st. Will that happen? I don't think it matters. Will it solve the problem? No. Everybody likes to say that Bitcoin is decentralized, but there's a group of computer experts who make improvements, make changes. That would be the centralization. And the reason they're fighting is that it's a free market and everybody's got their own idea. And I think it's great. It'll work out in the end, and we'll move on. What doesn't kill us makes us stronger in the cryptocurrency world always. So I'm sorry for anybody who can't fulfill their plan of waiting for the pullback, then loading up on the cryptos. You got half the equation correct. You waited for the pullback, and now it's pulled back, and no one could get in and buy any. I wouldn't say no, and there's people buying Bitcoin right now, buying all the cryptos, finding an exchange. I don't know which ones are up and running. They seem to shut down, come back up, shut down, come back up. They say it's volume related, but more than likely it's them gaming the market. And is it illegal? Is it not illegal? Take your pick. The crypto world is very unregulated, and that's what you want. You want a system that's not controlled by anybody, not controlled by the government or any CEO or anything like that. And you ask for it, you got it. The crazy crypto world. But I do believe that the Ethereum situation, where all these companies are being built on top of Ethereum to use that blockchain technology, it's going to be the mother lode. And even, currencies that are built on, or companies and systems that are built on top of it, coins that are built on top of Ethereum, could even be priced higher than Ethereum, depending on their use case. Veritasium is a great example. And right now it's trading at about $50. $50 for Weir coin, based on, there's one exchange, kind of exchange, that says it's trading it. The volumes are so thin, nobody knows. Like at one point, it was up to $350 per Weir coin. VERI is their ticker, and they haven't even been brought onto any of the big exchanges yet. So word on the street is a lot of banksters and a lot of hedge funds want to get their hands on some, and good luck. You got to bid on it. This is a free market. Those of you who have some, good for you, and hang on to them. And a lot of potential there in peer-to-peer transactions going around the bankers in the capital markets. I mean, $300 trillion industry that you got a new idea, and if it works, wow. That's all I have to say is wow. But it's very early days in that, but at some point, that coin, the Weir coin, could easily surpass the platform that it's on. It's working on the Ethereum platform, and so that's the way this goes. You've got new businesses being created every day, just like in the 90s, the go-go 90s with the dot-coms. And yeah, it blew up, but look what came out of it. The stronger companies not only survived, they thrived. Apple and eBay, Amazon.com, all these were born. Well, Apple wasn't born in the 90s, obviously, but all the web companies. That's now every company has a web presence. You have to have a web presence. Roto-Rooter has a web presence. This is all online. So yeah, it was an amazing invention, the World Wide Web and the internet and all that, and the cryptocurrencies and the blockchain. They're amazing inventions. You just don't see it yet. Most people don't see it yet. Just like they didn't see it back when the World Wide Web came into being. And if you look back at some of those old, like there's a great Today Show morning talk show interview from the 90s. They're talking about email, and I think it was Katie Couric just said some of this. What is this electronic mail? That makes no sense at all. Classic. Go back to the old the things people say at the very beginnings of a new technology are hysterical in retrospect. And it's one of those things, if you knew then what you know now, right? If I knew what was going to happen in the internet and the dot-com and the World Wide Web stuff, if I knew then what I know now, oh my God, I would have been loading up in 1990, 1991, all through those 10 years. I would have, of course, I would have decided which companies were good and which companies were crazy. And that's what needs to be done now. When you look at the cryptocurrencies, which companies have a good idea, good management, good code, if you're a computer guy. But there's also a lot of information. Veritasium is going to have a crypto analytics offering. I think they already have it, where they analyze these cryptocurrencies for you. Lots of reasons to get into Veritasium, and it is Veritasium according to Reggie Middleton. No, Tasium. Veritasium is what he calls it. It comes from veritas, which means truth. And if we can get truth and honesty back into our markets through a crypto, through blockchain technology, bravo! Because I just look at our current markets, the COMEX and the LBMA, and I'm thinking they're not long for this world. Criminal organizations don't last all that long, although these have lasted. I mean, the LBMA goes back over 100 years. But they control the media, they control the governments. They don't do that anymore. That's why the Rothschilds got out of the gold fix back in the early 2000s. They saw the writing on the wall. And the writing is on the wall. We're going to take back our markets. We're going to take back our country. We're going to take back a whole lot of things. And we're going to do it in a good way, in a truthful way, in an honest way, and we'll most likely do it without any government at all. When the system falls apart and we understand just how corrupt our government are you going to listen to them when they say, oh, we're going to ban cryptocurrencies, we're going to tax them as you walk away? No, you're not going to listen to them. I mean, our current government is so corrupt, and it's going to be very scary because the entire system is going to come crumbling down. The federal government, which employs currently, 33 million people directly and indirectly, poof, gone overnight with the banking crash and the takedown of a third of Congress is going to end up in jail. So it's going to get ugly. It's going to get crazy. Where do you want to have your funds? You want physical silver in your own possession. I own 1 ounce of physical gold. Just because I love gold. Everybody says, "Why do you hate gold so much?" I don't hate gold. I just found out there's a whole lot more of it than people are telling you. Your government has lied to you. Oh my God, your government has lied to you? Unbelievable. So yeah, I love gold, but there's 10, 20 times the amount of gold they say there is. Unless you want to believe Jeffrey Christian that there's 180,000 tons of gold ever been mined in the history of humanity. Completely ridiculous, and you can believe him, or you can believe Weir. And all the research I've done in the gold at Chocolate Mountain, the gold at Grand Canyon, Yamashita's gold, the Nazi gold, the Chinese royal family gold. There's so much gold. There's so much gold. It's insane. But it's good. It gets rid of that problem of people saying we can't go back to a gold standard. There's not enough gold in the world. Well, surprise, there's a lot of gold. And the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston shows exactly how much gold there is. When a little girl walks into a bank, I think she has 19 gold coins she's cashing in at a bank. That's 19 ounces of gold per person in the United States. 19 times 320 million people. Yeah, you do the math. But I think that was a little hint as to how much gold we have. Massive, massive amounts of gold. Silver, on the other hand, hardly any, and it's getting used up and thrown away and consumed in little tiny bits in your cell phone that you dropped in the ocean. You'll never get that little bit of silver back. And I hear there's a lot of need for silver at CERN. Just a rumor floating around, but that would be really interesting. A lot like the Y12 facility silver, which was over 3 billion ounces of silver used in the Y12 facility in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, making of the first atomic bomb to separate and separate the uranium. Go to the YouTube video on, I forgot what I called it, the greatest secret, silver secret never told. It's all about the silver that was used in the Manhattan Project in the 1940s that was borrowed from the U.S. Treasury, over 3 billion ounces. It stayed there all the way till the early 90s. In the early 90s, they tore down the facility, and they have been quickly releasing that silver into the market. So everybody who says, why is there always some physical silver every time we think it's going to crash? That's where it came from, but that's probably mostly gone right now. I think we're coming to the end game of that, and you can tell by the reluctance to take over the silver fix. They still haven't found anybody to say, oh yeah, I'll be in charge of that at the LBMA. So lots of good signs in silver. Also, JP Morgan stocking up on 600 million ounces of silver is, if it's true, if what Ted Butler says is true, and Ted's the most brilliant man when it comes to the numbers, and he doesn't fudge at all. So I would say it's true. I don't know if they're buying it in the name of the U.S. government, or they're buying it in the name of their own company to save their butts when the derivative market crashes, and then they would have to allow the price to rise to $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 an ounce just to cover their derivative book. Wouldn't that be nice, silver investors? But if you put it into the realm of everything, I don't know if it'd be nice at all, because the system would cease to function. And what good is silver if you're sitting there with marauding hordes trying to get to you? We'll see how it all goes. I do think the cryptocurrencies will be allowed to flourish in the United States because it's part of the transition. I've been saying it for a while now. These good guys, as I call them, are trying to have a soft landing and not just crash every single system and destroy all the wealth. But they have to destroy the unbacked fiat money because the bad guys have it all tucked away and hidden away in the Cayman Islands and the Panama. Just read the Panama Papers. How much does Barack Obama really have stashed away, and Hillary Clinton and the Clinton family? How much do they? You can't get rid of that. You can't find it. You can't get rid of it unless you crash the entire system and start fresh. And that's exactly what the Road to Ruta comics that came out of the Fed said. You need to destroy the system, and at that point, you need to reallocate money to the people. I think it will be reallocated in the form of gold, silver, possibly, maybe not. Silver might be too valuable, and the cryptocurrencies. I do think Satoshi Nakamoto is Alan Greenspan. Alan Greenspan was the world's #1 computer programmer, and number one person interested in monetary policy, in money throughout the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. He was always the number one computer programmer. He started programming in the early 1960s with his buddy John Kemeny, and he invented electronic fiat money. This is not an Al Gore thing. Alan Greenspan invented. He even blamed himself in his book for the Y2K problem. So yes, there's a lot going on behind the scenes, a lot we don't know. Is Greenspan Satoshi? It's if he's not Satoshi, he was highly and heavily involved in the development. We already know the CIA was already in there. So that means the Fed was in there, since it is related to money. And the man who was had just retired from the Federal Reserve before the Satoshi White Paper came out was none other than Alan Greenspan, the world's best computer programmer. He blows all these core developers away in his ability to program. He ran the whole system since the late 60s, early 70s to today. So, you got to be a pretty good computer programmer if you're going to do that. Anyway, this is Bix Weir, live from the greenhouse. Again, with the cryptos, if you can get it, because crocodile teeth all summer, boom, it'll run up. Probably in 4 or 5 days, you're going to see another push forward. And then before August, according to Cliff, you're going to see another crash down before it pushes forward again. Again, go to halfpasthuman.com and buy the Crypto Crocodile Report. And you'll learn about cryptocurrencies. You're going to need to know it, because it's going to be here for decades, if not a century or more. This is Bix Weir. We'll talk to you later.